and delivering all the promises which they have made, including controlling price rise within a month, including reduction of costs of electricity by 50% within 3 months, including regularizing all contract labor, which is working 3.5 lakh people, including raising of the women force for the women's security here, and many more, including the water, 700 liters of water to every household, when Delhi is only covered 40% by municipal water supply. So all these things are before the public. We expect Aam Aadmi Party to deliver on the promises they have made, and good luck to them. As far as BJP is concerned, we have always maintained we shall play the role of a constructive opposition. There is constructive support to the new government which will come, and we seriously, sincerely hope that they shall deliver.
All right, so you're saying the BJP will play the role of constructive opposition, but also at the same time, it seems it's going to be unsparing, considering there are several issues that have been raised by the Aam Aadmi Party, and the BJP has been on record to say that they seem very, very difficult to implement. Is there any time frame that you're going to fix for the Aam Aadmi Party to come good on some of those promises?
The Aam Aadmi Party itself has laid down the time frames. They have said within 3 months, the electricity prices shall be brought down by 50%. Within 1 month, they shall control inflation in the city. All these promises they have made, the timelines are their timelines. So we will just hold them accountable to the promises they have made and their timelines.
Right, and what do you make of the support that the Congress is giving from outside to the Aam Aadmi Party? Everyone would recall what Sheila Dikshit had to say when she was questioned about whether or not she will take support of Aam Aadmi Party just before elections, when everybody thought that Congress may not actually do so badly, and she said, I can't rule in or rule out the possibility of that. Ironically, now it's the Congress which is giving outside support to the Aam Aadmi Party.
See, Congress's position is a very precarious position, if you look at it. There is a saying in Hindi, pyaz bhi khaye, chilke bhi khaye. I amended further, says, pyaz bhi khaye aur joote bhi khaye. You know, they don't know what to do. Aam Aadmi Party, in its arrogance, has been abusing, accusing and misbehaving with them. But their compulsion is that in order to keep BJP away, they must support no matter what the cost may be. You know, being accused of being the most corrupt government and in the most unsavory manner with the worst possible of languages by the Aam Aadmi Party is a slur to the self-respect of anybody, any political party. Yet, the Congress has this compulsion. Right now, they see the biggest challenge to them is from the BJP. And rightly so. In Delhi also, we have 32 seats. We are the largest party. So in order to keep us away, not only from Delhi, looking at the national consequences, they had to support an outfit, which is okay, which is fine for us. So Congress, I sympathize, empathize with them. Brave words, yes. But more importantly, there is a hope factor which has been raised by the Aam Party. People expect them to deliver. People expect the moon out of them. Rightly so, because that's what they promised. We want there to be a reality check. There has to be a reality check to all promises which are made by political parties.
All right.
Because they cannot be unreasonable or, I would say, rhetorics, and they can't be theatrics in this.
All right, rhetoric and theatrics, that's enough of what we've seen during this election in Delhi. Let me bring in Tehseen Poonawala on this. Tehseen, Sudhanshu Mittal of the BJP suggesting that the Congress has had to swallow its pride by giving outside support to the Aam Aadmi Party, and at the heart of it lies the fact that it basically wants to keep the BJP out of Delhi. There's a complete desperation there, which is why it's willing to support the Aam Aadmi Party.
There is some grain of truth in what Sudhanshu ji says, that of course the Congress would not like the BJP to form the government in Delhi. There's no two ways about it, and let's not be naive and fool each other about it. And it's good to see Sudhanshu ji at Vijay Chowk in front of Parliament. Inshallah, one day I'll see him in Parliament. But the fact of the matter is that here is the Aam Aadmi Party that made all these promises that Sudhanshu Mittal ji says. But those promises were also replicated by the BJP, and I've read the manifesto of all three parties, the Congress, the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. The least populist in Delhi was the Congress. The most populist was Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP, they almost, it was almost a Xerox carbon copy of each other, their manifestos. If they promised 50%, they promised 30%. If they promised 700 liters of water, they promised 45 kilos of water. So there was all of this promises that each of them made. Yes, they were unrealistic promises, but the people of Delhi have voted for these promises. And I remember an incident in Haryana. This was when I was born. The Congress was in government. The opposition then said that they will disband all hydropower projects in Haryana because electricity removed from water removes the power from water. Therefore, the crops in Haryana dying. That opposition came with an absolute majority in Haryana. So, and sometimes in democracy, populism wins. Here, populism has won. Good luck to Aam Aadmi Party, good luck to the BJP, and good luck to the Congress for supporting it. I think what the Congress is doing is, Sudhanshu ji, in your words, because I know you're fond of poetry, agar hum manzile na ban paye, manzilo tak ka rasta to ban jaye. So I think the Congress is supporting it. If the people of Delhi have voted for these policies, why not?
All right, let's in fact listen in to the man of the moment, Arvind Kejriwal, what he had to say just moments after meeting the Lieutenant Governor, where he gave the letter taking claim to form the next government in Delhi.
लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर साहब से मैं मिला अभी और मैंने उनको पत्र दे दिया कि दिल्ली की जनता भारी बहुमत से चाहती है कि आम आदमी पार्टी सरकार बनाए, तो आम आदमी पार्टी सरकार बनाने के लिए तैयार है। उपराज्यपाल महोदय ने कहा है कि वो ये प्रपोजल राष्ट्रपति जी को भेज देंगे और राष्ट्रपति जी से जैसे ही आदेश आएगा उसके बाद स्वेरिंग इन सेरेमनी, ओथ सेरेमनी की डेट फिक्स की जाएगी और आपस में बातचीत करने के बाद ये तय हुआ कि ओथ सेरेमनी रामलीला मैदान में होगी।
All right, you just heard from Arvind Kejriwal. A lot of commotion at that press meeting where he announced the details of what really happened at Lieutenant Governor's office. The Aam Aadmi Party, of course, wants to have the swearing-in ceremony at Jantar Mantar, the site, the epicenter of several protests which Arvind Kejriwal has spearheaded over the last 2 years. Mr. Mittal, if I could come to you now, would you not give credit where it's due? A political nobody. 11 months ago, he formed this political party. There was a public movement, then there was this political party, the falling out with Anna, and of course, it's been a tumultuous journey, to say the least, for Arvind Kejriwal. It's not been easy for him to burst onto the scene like this with a spectacular performance of the party and then getting to form the government. This is, history making as far as politics in India is concerned.
I would certainly give a lot of credit, not only for emerging from nobody to making the government within 11 months. The biggest credit which I give to Arvind Kejriwal ji is the courage he demonstrated in challenging Sheila Dikshit to fight against her. He said, wherever she fights from, I shall fight. And that's a long back, and at a time where this was considered to be fool-headed. That's the credit, because I always believe that leadership comes out of a lot of courage and determination, which he has amply demonstrated. So on a personal note, certainly I would compliment him. He has shown great qualities of leadership when he challenged Sheila Dikshit.
All right, a lot of courage of conviction that we've seen from Arvind Kejriwal. Let me find out from Tehseen, any lessons that the Congress would want to draw, any inferences from the humiliating defeat it had to face in Delhi?
No two ways about it. I agree with what Sudhanshu ji said. Absolute credit to Arvind Kejriwal. He took a decision, he took the risk, and he went ahead and fulfilled it. Let me tell you a story, a little story about Arvind Kejriwal, which might be trivia to your news readers, but it's very interesting. Arvind Kejriwal wanted to join the NEC, which is Mrs. Gandhi's thing, and he used to keep going to Mr. Digvijay Singh to join it. I know this, and Mr. Digvijay Singh wanted him to join it. In hindsight, the Congress must be regretting that he isn't in the NAC because he's thrown the Congress out. The other part about this is that, Arvind Kejriwal fighting from Gujarat or anywhere that he now decides to fight from anywhere across India, look, the people who voted for the Aam Aadmi Party, the BJP has retained its traditional vote base. The Congress voters have voted for the Aam Aadmi Parties who would not have voted for the BJP in areas where Muslims did not want the BJP and our Aam Aadmi Party was strong, they voted for the Aam Aadmi Party. That is the challenge to the Congress because he's going to take over the Congress vote bank. He seems to be an inclusive party like the Congress. So I think there's a lot for the Congress to worry about. But you cannot, he's the man of the moment. It's not the first time in India that it's happened. 30 years ago, the TDP and the AGP did form the government chief ministers. He's not the first one, but 30 years later, full credit to a young man, not very young, but young man in political context, to go ahead there, walk the talk and to do it. Absolute respect for him. While I don't agree with any of his policies, the fact that he's done it, he was called an anarchist, he was called all sorts of names by all political parties, he's gone ahead and proved them all wrong. Good luck to him.
Well, he's proved many cynics wrong, and Mr. Mittal, many in your party, including Mr. Arun Jaitley, has just very recently written a letter where he has said that the opportunist face of Aam Aadmi Party has been exposed. The very basis on which it was built now stand exposed, considering it's aligning itself with the Congress Party, it's exposing itself as a B team of the Congress Party and whatnot. But to be dismissive of Aam Aadmi Party at this juncture, when we are just months away from Lok Sabha elections, would that be foolhardy for any political party, especially the two national political parties, the Congress and the BJP?
First, let me compliment Tehseen. It is such a pleasure watching him defend the indefensible. He is brilliant, and it's always a pleasure to be with him on the show.
Thank you.
Secondly, you see, the elections would be announced probably in 60-65 days. And the moment the elections are announced to the Lok Sabha, you shall have the model code of conduct implemented. That's the challenge. You know, I do not want a responsible Delhi government to take refuge behind the fact that there is a model code of conduct in place, so we cannot do. Because all these things are on card. It's on the table. And any planning which the Aam Aadmi Party must do considering all these factors. Because the expectations are very high. Let us understand, look at the response of people. They expect that there is a new Subha. They expect that the entire work culture of the government must change immediately. They expect a lot of delivery. I do not want a sanitized public to feel cheated and get sensitized. A sensitized public to get feeling cheated and then get sanitized to the issue of corruption. That would be unfortunate for the nation, or for the city for that matter. Thus, really our good wishes to Mr. Kejriwal and his party. We sincerely and seriously want them to deliver. We want good government in the city. As has been stated by Mr. Vijay Goyal, as well as our Chief Minister candidate, Mr. Harshvardhan, we will play the role of a constructive opposition. We shall extend all constructive cooperation to this government.
All right.
Because we want the city to prosper. We want good governance in the city.
All right.
That's the criticality.
All right, let's see how it unfolds. The BJP right now promising that it is going to play the role of constructive opposition. The Congress saying that it is willing to support the Aam Aadmi Party all along its tenure, but its support is going to be conditional, issue-based, policy-based, and not unconditional, as was suggested earlier by many. We'll head into a short break. We'll return with lots more, and of course we'll be getting you more reactions on the big story coming in this morning. The Aam Aadmi Party, the debutant party, the rookie party, is also to form the government in Delhi. We'll continue with this coverage when we return after this short break. So as Arvind Kejriwal gets set to become the next Chief Minister of Delhi, the question is whether he can fulfill the promises that he's made to people. And on the top of his agenda, remember, was the Jan Lokpal bill. He said he would pass it within 15 days. So what happens next? Let's take a look.
This is where it all began, the fight for Lokpal, where Anna and Kejriwal launched a national movement. 2 years later, the two have gone their different ways. Kejriwal feeling betrayed that Anna had compromised on the fight for a Jan Lokpal. Now Kejriwal is promising exactly that, a Jan Lokpal if AAP is in the seat of power in Delhi.
जन लोकपाल बिल के लिए अन्ना हजारे ने 13 दिन का अनशन किया था। सारी पार्टियों ने संसद में बैठ के कहा था, अन्ना जी आप अपना अनशन खत्म कर दो, आपकी तीनों शर्तें मंजूर हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने चिट्ठी लिखी थी अन्ना जी को, क्या हुआ उस चिट्ठी का, क्या हुआ उस प्रस्ताव का? सारी पार्टियों ने धोखा दिया। हम दिल्ली के अंदर वही लोकपाल बिल दिल्ली के लिए पास करना चाहते हैं।
अगर सरकार बनती है तो सबसे पहला कमिटमेंट लोकपाल का है। लोकपाल 15 दिन के अंदर बनेगा, ये हमने पहले भी कहा था और अभी भी हम कह रहे हैं कि अगर सरकार बनती है तो विधानसभा की विशेष बैठक बुला के 15 दिन के अंदर दिल्ली का लोकपाल कानून पास किया जाएगा।
Arvind Kejriwal's promise to bring a Jan Lokpal bill in Delhi within 15 days of swearing in seems far from a reality. Firstly, Lokpal bill can only be brought in Parliament, which has already been done and passed by both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Secondly, Delhi already has a Lokayukt. But if he wants to give more teeth to the anti-corruption watchdog in Delhi on the lines of his Jan Lokpal bill, that's not going to be an easy task. Here's why. Delhi doesn't enjoy a full statehood status and still governed like a union territory. If the Delhi cabinet approves the new Lokayukt bill, then it has to be sent to the Lieutenant Governor, who forwards it to the Union Home Ministry. The Home Ministry will then seek the opinion of the Union Law Ministry. After getting a green signal from the Union government, the draft bill will go back to the LG's office, who will then forward it to the Delhi government. After this lengthy process, which can take months, the draft bill can then be introduced in the Delhi Assembly. So it's certainly not possible for Kejriwal to bring in the Jan Lokpal bill in Delhi within 15 days.
दिल्ली विधानसभा में यदि कोई भी विधायी प्रस्ताव आना है तो पहले उसके लिए केंद्र सरकार की स्वीकृति आवश्यक है। तो विधानसभा में अगर कोई बिल आएगा, चाहे वो लोकपाल हो या कोई भी हो, सबसे पहले उसको सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की अप्रूवल से आएगा।
Kejriwal's Jan Lokpal promise may just fizzle out, considering the technicalities and processes it has to go through. Quite clearly, a 15-day deadline will be impossible for Kejriwal to meet. With Rishika from New Delhi, Anurag Dhanda for Headlines Today.
And my colleague Vijay Kao, in fact, is now joining us. Vijay, I believe there is a lecture of some sorts for the newly elected Aam Aadmi Party MLAs today in Delhi.
Exactly, Ruchika. There was a workshop that has been underway since about 10 a.m. at the Constitution Club. So even while Arvind Kejriwal was moving from his Aam Aadmi Party Kaushambi office towards the Lieutenant Governor's office here to give the letter to stake claim to form the government, a number of Aam Aadmi Party MLAs, the newly elected MLAs, were attending a workshop. Now this workshop was for these relatively young MLAs to make them accustomed to how an assembly is run and to teach them the nuances of politics, and that is what this workshop is all about. And Arvind Kejriwal, from after meeting the Lieutenant Governor here, has now gone to that particular workshop at the Constitution Club. He will be addressing the gathering of all the MLAs. He will be telling them what the meeting was all about with the Lieutenant Governor, what was discussed, what did the Lieutenant Governor say. We do know that he has expressed his intention before the Lieutenant Governor to take oath at the Ramlila Maidan. The date till now it was being said was the 26th, but now it is being touted that the date is not yet confirmed because the letter that Arvind Kejriwal has submitted here before the Lieutenant Governor will now be sent by the Lieutenant Governor to the Home Ministry, which will in turn send the letter to the President. After there is presidential assent, the letter will then be sent back to the Lieutenant Governor's office, and after which Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party will be notified as to when the swearing-in ceremony can actually take place. Back to you.
All right, let me bring in Tehseen Poonawala. Tehseen, the whole idea that the Congress is now supporting Arvind Kejriwal from outside, it wasn't the initial idea. They did not fight this election to make Arvind Kejriwal the Chief Minister. Must have done some sort of cost-benefit analysis. What really is there in this sort of formula for the Congress by supporting Arvind Kejriwal? What really is the milestone? What really is the target?
Of course, it wasn't, nobody fights an election to make somebody else the Chief Minister, and to be honest, I don't think the Congress or the BJP expected the Aam Aadmi Party to do so well. I think nobody expected them to do so well. Having said that, and now that they have done so well, I think it is in the interest of the Congress to ensure that, at least in Delhi, which is a symbolism of power, if the BJP is kept out, and if the Aam Aadmi Party falters on the promises it made, like I very honestly believe that these promises are unrealistic, I think people will go back to the Congress simply because the governance of Congress was fantastic in Delhi. A lot of the things that went wrong was anger against the central government, police isn't in the state government's hand, and a lot of those things. Having said that, inflation isn't in the state government's hand. So I think that people would, in my personal opinion, they would miss Sheila Dikshit, and she's the one who's brought in governance in Delhi.
All right, people will miss Sheila Dikshit for now. It's political wilderness. Well, remains to be seen what is it like for her after the Lok Sabha elections, really. But let me bring in Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal. Mr. Mittal, doesn't the BJP run the risk of letting the Aam Aadmi Party, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal for that matter, consolidate his support base with forming this government? And if he comes good on some of those promises, may not be all, but it can in a way consolidate its position.
I think in democracy, if there is a government which delivers, it has all the reasons to have the support of people. I would never resent that. However, see, this is a document. This is the promise document of Aam Aadmi Party, fairly voluminous. It starts with na khokle vaide, na jhoote vaide. That's a litmus test. Are these promises going to be khokla? Or are these promises going to be jhoote, or would they really deliver? So at the end of the day, they'll be held accountable to what they have promised.
All right.
Because right now there is an air of expectation and goodwill. I would not like to play spoil sport right now. As I said, I would wish them good luck. I sincerely want them to deliver the promises which they have made, and let the city people enjoy the fruits of such promises being fulfilled.
Right.
However, on the political side, a lot is made out in terms of the national context. A lot is being said that, look, he is now the challenge to Narendra Modi, and the BJP has a lot to worry about, and all that, which is being said. I just want to point out a few things. At times I get the feeling that people think I'm the vanquished and not the victor. Please understand, BJP is the victor. Out of the 72 Lok Sabha seats which went to polls in these 4 elections, we won 62 of them.
Right.
Out of some 570 Vidhan Sabhas which went into poll, we got 409 out of them.
But that in fact is the irony of it all, considering that BJP had got the highest number of seats. It will be the opposition in this case in the Congress which
that's the parliamentary democracy in this country.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we all respect that, and real politics that we are seeing from the Aam Aadmi Party, which had of course given up its stand that it had taken earlier that it would take support from the Congress or the BJP. It is now taking outside support of the Congress as it forms a government in Delhi. Swearing in ceremony expected to take place on the 26th of this month, and Arvind Kejriwal, the leader of the Aam Aadmi Party, will be sworn in as the youngest Chief Minister of Delhi. With that, we'll have to wrap up this bulletin right here. We'll head into a short break. We'll return with lots more in just a moment. Stay with us here on Headlines Today.